Welcome to the channel. I'm Grant Tommy. This is Straight Six Fan, your home for offbeat hot rodding, and well, you know what? We've skipped an episode. We were supposed to have car content back on Wednesday, but there's a couple reasons for why we're not, and why we've just graduated and skipped straight into this week's installment of What We Weld in Weekly. Well, okay, first off, it's the shirt I'm wearing. So the project today in this episode is going to be for my company I work for. I'm actually, in the middle of a job change. This is the company I'm leaving, Hollis & Miller Architects. But once a year, they donate to one of their long-standing clients an outdoor classroom. Part of the deal is we donate a set amount of money, and then every employee basically puts in 8 hours on a work day. Habitat for Humanity style, when we build the thing as the gift. Well, there's other things in the construction industry we need to pull off these projects, and that's what brings me to my project on this week's episode, which are welding up some base plates. So we are switching back to stick welding mode on the Everlast Power 206 Pi to do this, but the other reason why we didn't have car content on Wednesday was, well, because of this. It is Wednesday afternoon and a plumber just left my house replacing my hot water heater. The old one started leaking out the bottom, so we had water everywhere in the garage. And, well, that was priority number one for the week, was making sure I didn't have mold growing in places. So this has been since Monday. So I came out here actually Monday night to shoot the car episode, and then realized I had a bigger problem on my hands. So anyway, we'll skip back to the welding portion. So let me just show you what the project is for this year's Learnscape 2021. Okay, so since I will miss build day because I will be, well, at a different job, I'm going to be welding up 6x6 tube steel onto these base plates, which I thought were 1/4 inch, but they look more like 3/16. Anyway, but I got to get these taken to a local spot to get 4 holes drilled in each side of them, because so wood posts these are going to be outer sleeves for wood posts. So bolt these to concrete and then slide like cedar posts, 6x6 cedar posts into these things, and then drive lag bolts into the side of them. So okay, so roughly here's what we're after. We're after this kind of setup: base plate welded to tube steel. And but before we can get there, so what's going to happen is the team is going to set these suckers on the concrete where they want to, mark their holes, drill them out, and they're using concrete wedge anchors. Problem is, we've all been there, right? You mark a hole, it's centered as best you can, and then your drill bit walks on you. So what I'm going to do with the plasma cutter, the other advantage to the 206 Pi having 3 processes, is we've settled on, instead of doing a slot groove like that, I'm going to make a square like so, and that'll give the team just a little bit of extra flexibility to kind of do that number as they need to, as they're setting these suckers in place. end of night one, and I didn't get the tube steel back from the local shop who was gonna, well, basically mill out holes for me for the crew. So I wanted that done first before I welded to the base plates, but we do have the base plates ready to go. We've got half the holes slotted out, so we can have a little bit of wiggle room there. So it'll just be up to welding the tube steel to the plate steel whenever I get that. And we're back. It's actually Sunday now as I record this. I took the tube steel to a place here locally to get the bolt holes or drill holes, or holes drilled into them, we'll say it that way, for future mounting, because my benchtop drill press was not going to, it was going to take forever. It's like 1/8 inch thick steel. So anyway, they only got half of them done for me. Again, that's another long story. But so we're going to do 6 of them here today. So we are going to start getting those cleaned up and set up to make our first pass. Even though arc welding is the most forgiving of all processes when it comes to like mill scale and things like that, it's still a good idea to clean up, prep your area. And what I'm doing here now is before I draw out, you know, where I want this exactly to land equal on each side, setting it up to try to figure out which of the two sides has a cleaner cut, which one's more square. And so, not good, pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see if the other side's any better. Not too bad. Good. Not horrible. And bad. So, you know what? Kind of 6 one way, half does the other. Oh, looks like we have some burrs up here on the top. I will knock those down. So in all honesty, after knocking the burrs off that first side, pretty dang square. So we will choose this to be our bottom. And before we get my markings on everything, I need to now cut in a weep hole for moisture to get out of these, because cedar posts are going to sit in these sleeves. So need to make a way for water to get out. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll set it up and start burning it in. First one's done, and you know, I had some good sections and I had some not so good sections, but through time I was able to work it out. Right about 140 amps is the sweet spot. So you know, these are gonna be for like a glorified residential fence. It'll be pretty beefy. I mean, 6x6 posts, but point is, it's not too terribly, there's not a whole lot of life safety issues involved. So I feel like these welds will be plenty fine for what the circumstances of where they're going. And it's also not to say that as I keep going, you know, more and more of them will look like this bead. This is my third one, and I would say this is my longest, best continuous bead of the day. Really happy with that. But yeah, the 140 amp seems to be the nice spot. Setting wise, but yeah, I feel like I'm getting some really nice beads now, so yeah, it kind of makes me excited by the time I get to number 6. How dang good is it gonna look? Well, let's get back to work. I now have 6 of the 12 welded up. Pretty happy with how they turned out. I'd say 1 out of 6 is poor, but the rest I'm really happy with. I suppose now is a good time to get into the rest of the story as to why I don't have all 12 on hand. When I dropped off the 12 tubes to get the holes drilled in at the local fab shop, well, it turns out they are also a professional monster truck team. So they were on their way down to Austin for this week's, I don't know if it's the Monster Jam circuit or what, but so they were heading out of town Thursday. So we kind of worked out a deal where they would do half of them for me, stay late that night, do half of them for me. So I picked those up on Wednesday night, welded them today, and so they still have 6 that they're supposed to knock out for me tomorrow, Monday. And well, I guess I should also get into the job change that I've been hinting at over a couple of videos. And well, this company here that puts on Learnscape, Hollis & Miller Architects, is the place I worked at for the last 7 3/4 years, almost 8 years. December would be the full 8 years. And moving on to Mammoth Sports Construction. And so when this video goes live on Wednesday, I will have finished my final day at Hollis & Miller. And so officially, by the time you guys are watching this, I have a new job and I'm working full time. Past 6 weeks or so, maybe even 7, I had actually been working at both places, Monday through Wednesday at Hollis & Miller, Thursday, Friday at Mammoth. And you know, for the most part that worked out. It helped me transition some people at the old company into the jobs to take over for me, helped me get deeper into the summer for all the summer projects that company was doing. They did a bunch of K through 12 school architecture, so you know, the summer projects are lots of times schools are trying to flip, you know, reconfigure spaces or something over the summer. And so thought in the heat of that battle, it would be best for them if I stayed on as long as I could in the summer. But you know what? I'm excited now that it's officially, I've jumped to the new job. I like the new job. From the days I have been working there part-time, I do love it. I think it's going to be more up my alley. Lots of sports architecture, but you know what? You came here for welding, and I guess that's where we'll wrap things up. If you enjoyed this episode, well, I've got some other ones over here for you to check out. Some more of my welding, stick welding and TIG welding all combined. But otherwise, all I want to say is, my 6 fans out there, thanks for watching.